Have you ever noticed that it is not the people who say, I love you the loudest who truly value you, but the ones who are willing to stand and fight when everything else is trying to pull love apart? Many can admire you from a distance. Many can enjoy you for a season, but very few will guard your heart like a treasure worth protecting. Let me tell you this. Never choose someone who only wants the comfort of your presence. Choose the one who is willing to fight for the privilege of keeping it. Because love, real love, is not a convenience. It is not an arrangement of emotions or a contract of benefits. Love is a covenant, and covenants are tested in storms. A woman who fights for your love is a woman who has made a decision that you are not disposable, that you are not an option, and that you are not interchangeable. She has discerned value in you that others cannot see. And she is willing to guard that value even when circumstances challenge her resolve. But let me teach you something profound. The greatest sign of a woman's inner strength is not only in her ability to fight for love, it is also in her ability to detach when her value is ignored. A weak heart clings desperately to what diminishes it, but a strong heart is willing to walk away from what refuses to honor it. Detachment is not abandonment, it is revelation. It is the revelation that my worth does not decrease when I am not chosen. It is the wisdom that says, if you cannot see who I am, then your blindness is not my prison. And here is the paradox. The woman who can let go with dignity is the same woman whose love is most worth fighting for. Why? Because her fight is never born out of desperation, but out of conviction. She does not fight to be seen. She fights because she has already seen. She has seen purpose in you. She has seen destiny in you. She has seen that the union between you is bigger than feelings, bigger than romance, bigger than chemistry. It is alignment. And when vision aligns with vision, love becomes a force that refuses to quit. So hear me. A woman who fights for your love is not clinging to you. She is protecting destiny. She knows that if she loses you without cause, something in the divine assignment of her life may be delayed. She is not just fighting for you. She is fighting for the future that was meant to be birthed through you. That is why her fight is sacred. It is not a fight of the flesh. It is a fight of the spirit. A fight that says, I will not allow what God has joined to be torn apart by fear, insecurity, or distraction. Yet you must also understand balance. Love is not authentic if only one side is fighting. If she fights and you remain idle, love will eventually collapse under the weight of imbalance. Covenant requires pursuit from both sides. Just as she guards your love, you must guard hers. Just as she fights for you, you must fight for her. For love without reciprocity becomes slavery, but love with mutual pursuit becomes security. Therefore, when you are seeking a woman to walk with in life, do not merely look for beauty fades. Do not merely look for charm deceives. Do not merely look for status shifts. Look for the one who, when storms arise, does not vanish. Look for the one who chooses you not because it is easy, but because it is right. Look for the one who loves you with a strength that can release you if you dishonor her, yet with a commitment that will fight for you if destiny requires it. Because in the end, true love is not passive. True love does not watch silently as purpose dies. True love is proven in the fight. And the woman who fights for your love is the woman who has already conquered her own fear, her own insecurity, her own pride, so that she can stand beside you with confidence, not clinging. And when you find that, hold it with reverence, for it is rare, it is holy, and it is forever. Love is proven not in the poetry of words, nor in the sweetness of promises, but in the weight of sacrifice. The measure of a woman's love is not found in how beautifully she can describe her affection, but in how deeply she is willing to invest herself when circumstances demand more than comfort. You see, anybody can enjoy you when it is easy, when the season is favorable, when the sun is shining and the winds are calm. But the test of love is not in comfort, it is in conflict. The proof of love is not in laughter, but in loyalty. It is when storms rise and challenges come that the strength of love is revealed. And the woman who is willing to fight for your love is the one who has understood that love without sacrifice is not love at all. It is convenience disguised as commitment. Sacrifice is the language of value. Whatever you are willing to sacrifice for reveals what you consider priceless. If someone is not willing to give up comfort, time, or even pride for you, then they do not truly value you. A woman who truly loves does not treat love as disposable. She defends it because she has placed weight on your worth. To fight for love does not mean to beg or to plead in desperation. No. Fighting for love means she refuses to let something of divine value be taken lightly. She will intercede in prayer for you. She will labor in patience with you. She will endure ridicule if necessary, because she sees something in you that is worth more than temporary pleasure or superficial gain. That is sacrifice. Sacrifice requires loss, but is a loss embraced willingly for the sake of a greater treasure. When a woman fights for your love, she does not do it because she is weak or needy, but because she sees the relationship as an assignment worth preserving. She will sacrifice her pride to extend forgiveness. She will sacrifice her comfort to stand by you in seasons of lack. She will sacrifice her own plans temporarily to support your vision because she believes in where you are going. Sacrifice is proof of investment. And hear this carefully. Nobody sacrifices for what they do not believe has value. If she fights for you, it is because she has counted the cost and decided you are worth it. Now understand this truth. Not all love is tested equally. There are those who will say, I love you, but when adversity comes, their words vanish like smoke in the wind. Why? Because their love was never anchored in sacrifice. Their love was about convenience, what they could gain, how you made them feel. But when what they could gain disappeared, so did their devotion. This is why you must discern the difference between affection and commitment. Affection feels good, but commitment pays a price. Affection may admire you, but commitment will fight for you. And the woman who will fight for your love is the one who has already decided that you are not just a chapter in her life. You are part of her destiny. Think of this. Every covenant requires blood. In ancient times, covenants were sealed with sacrifice because sacrifice is what makes promises binding. Love that costs nothing is easily abandoned. But love that costs everything becomes unshakable. That is why a woman who fights for your love demonstrates covenant loyalty. She is willing to shed tears if it means preserving the union. She is willing to stand against family pressures, societal opinions, or even her own fears, because she has recognized something eternal in the bond. And such sacrifice cannot be imitated by someone who is merely passing time with you. Sacrifice is also the antidote to selfishness. Selfish love only seeks what it can receive. Genuine love, however, seeks what it can give. A woman who fights for your love has moved beyond herself. She has placed the relationship above her ego, above her comfort, above her fleeting emotions. She understands that love is not always about feeling good, but about doing what is right. Sometimes she will fight for your love by confronting you when you are wrong, because she loves you too much to let you destroy yourself. Sometimes she will fight for your love by being patient with your weaknesses, giving you room to grow instead of abandoning you. Sometimes she will fight for your love by enduring seasons of misunderstanding, trusting that clarity will come. All of this is sacrifice, and it is a sign that her love is not shallow. It is rooted in vision. Let me show you a deeper truth. Love that is worth keeping always demands a cross. To carry a cross means to deny yourself, to put aside selfish desires, to embrace hardship for the sake of what is greater. A woman who fights for your love carries her cross. She may sacrifice her personal comfort to stay awake and pray while you wrestle with life's challenges. She may sacrifice her convenience to support your vision when no one else believes in it. She may sacrifice her own plans to build with you. Not because she has no dreams, but because she sees that aligning her dream with yours will create a greater future. That is what love looks like in reality. And here is something you must never forget. The strength of love is not proven in how loud it speaks in peace, but in how firmly it stands in war. Many will declare love when everything is smooth, but only a few will fight for love when everything is shaking. The woman who refuses to let adversity steal what she treasures has revealed a dimension of love that cannot be bought with gifts or swayed with charm. That kind of love is priceless because it has been tested in fire. It is forged through sacrifice. Sacrifice is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is quiet, hidden, and unnoticed. It is in the patience she shows when she could have walked away. It is in the loyalty she maintains when opportunities to betray arise. It is in the way she chooses to believe in you when others doubt you. Sacrifice is not always visible, but its fruits are undeniable. And when you find a woman who is willing to make such sacrifices, you have found someone who understands the essence of covenant love. Do not mistake sacrifice for weakness. To fight for love does not mean she has no other options. It does not mean she is desperate. On the contrary, it means she has chosen to use her strength, her influence, her time, and her heart to guard something precious. Weakness clings to anything, but strength fights only for what is worth keeping. That is the kind of love that endures. If you want to know who truly values you, watch who is willing to sacrifice for you. Watch who will stand when it is unpopular, who will give when it is inconvenient, who will fight when it is difficult. Words can deceive, but sacrifice tells the truth. And the truth is this: love without sacrifice is counterfeit. A woman who fights for your love is not just expressing emotion. She is proving covenant. She is telling you, not with her words, but with her actions, you are worth my fight, worth my sacrifice, worth my investment. Emotional detachment is one of the greatest revelations of strength a woman can ever demonstrate, because it is the evidence that she knows her worth apart from being chosen, validated, or pursued. Many assume that the measure of love is in how tightly one can hold on. But the deeper wisdom of life teaches us that the truest sign of confidence is in how gracefully one can let go. To detach emotionally is not to stop loving, it is to stop diminishing oneself for the sake of a love that does not reciprocate. It is the power to say, I will not remain where I am tolerated, but not celebrated. Detachment is not a lack of feeling. It is the highest form of self-respect. And when a woman embraces this truth, she becomes unshakable, because her identity is no longer bound by who stays or who leaves. Emotional detachment is a declaration of independence from the chains of insecurity. It says, I am whole with or without you. A woman who knows how to detach is dangerous to the forces that would try to manipulate her, because she refuses to be trapped by guilt, fear, or desperation. She does not cling to someone who does not see her, nor does she beg for attention where she is being ignored. Instead, she anchors herself in purpose, trusting that the right relationship will never require her to lose her dignity. This kind of strength makes her love pure, because it flows out of choice, not compulsion. She chooses to love you not because she cannot live without you, but because she has decided you are worth walking with. That distinction changes everything, because a love that comes from strength will always be healthier than a love that is driven by neediness. When a woman is detached emotionally, she does not fear being alone. Loneliness cannot enslave her, because she has learned the art of completeness within herself. She does not use love as a crutch to fill the void of her identity, because she has discovered who she is outside of relationships. That is why her attachment, when given, is powerful, because it is born out of abundance, not emptiness. To be with her is to be with someone who does not demand you to complete her, but rather invites you to complement her. And if she fights for your love, it is not because she cannot survive without you, but because she has discerned purpose with you. That kind of woman cannot be manipulated, because her detachment gives her the freedom to walk away if her worth is dishonored. Detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. It gives her the ability to see beyond the fog of emotions and to judge a situation with wisdom. Many people remain trapped in toxic relationships because they confuse attachment with love. They cling out of fear, not realizing that love and fear cannot coexist. Love empowers, fear enslaves. The woman who can detach is not enslaved because she does not confuse staying with loving. She understands that sometimes the greatest expression of love for herself and even for the other person is to walk away when value is lost. Detachment allows her to preserve her dignity, her peace, and her future rather than sacrificing them on the altar of someone else's indecision. When she detaches, she sends a message that is louder than any argument. I know my value, and that value is not negotiable. It is not up for debate. A woman who understands this truth becomes like a fortress. She does not crumble when ignored. She does not beg when rejected. She does not lose herself when abandoned. Instead, she recalibrates her heart, lifts her head, and moves forward because her identity was never built on fragile human approval. That strength makes her love all the more precious because when she chooses to stay, you know it is not because she cannot leave. It is because she decided you were worth her loyalty. There is a divine wisdom hidden in detachment. It teaches that you cannot truly hold what you are not willing to lose. If a woman holds on to love out of fear, her grip becomes toxic. She becomes enslaved to the outcome. But when she has the power to let go, she creates the freedom for love to be genuine. For love that is forced is not love, it is bondage. Only when she is willing to walk away can her staying have true meaning. That is why emotional detachment is not the absence of love, but the purification of it. It strips away the desperation and leaves only what is authentic. Consider this: desperation repels, but dignity attracts. The more a woman clings out of insecurity, the more the relationship begins to lose its balance. But the moment she detaches, the entire dynamic changes. Suddenly her presence is a privilege, not an entitlement. Her love becomes something to honor, not something to exploit. And the man who discerns her value realizes quickly that to take her lightly is to risk losing something extraordinary. This is why emotional detachment is so powerful. It shifts the power of love back into balance, where both sides must honor and pursue each other equally. You see, emotional detachment is not an excuse for apathy or neglect. It is a foundation for healthy boundaries. It keeps love from becoming idolatry, where one person loses themselves in the worship of another. Detachment ensures that while love is given deeply, it is never given blindly. It guards the heart from manipulation, from deception, and from exploitation. It keeps the woman strong enough to fight for love when it is real, but wise enough to release it when it is counterfeit. That is the kind of discernment that saves lives from years of wasted time and broken dreams. A woman who can detach emotionally is also a woman who can forgive without being enslaved. She does not hold grudges because she does not depend on your apology to move forward. Her detachment allows her to wish you well even if you have wronged her, because her healing does not come from you. It comes from within her. That strength is rare, and it makes her love even more powerful because it flows out of wholeness. Wholeness can forgive. Wholeness can release. Wholeness can choose peace over bitterness. Such a woman becomes a beacon of strength in a world where many are enslaved by attachment to what has already expired. The beauty of emotional detachment is that it does not weaken her ability to love. It enhances it. Because when she chooses to love, she does so from freedom. She is not trapped. She is not desperate. She is not afraid. She is whole. And when a whole person gives you their love, you have received the highest form of gift, because they are not giving you what they need to survive. They are giving you what they have chosen to share. That makes her fight for love sacred. Because if she fights for you, it is not out of insecurity, it is out of revelation. She has detached enough to know she can live without you, but chosen enough to decide she would rather live with you. Purpose is the foundation upon which true partnership is built. Because without purpose, love becomes an aimless journey. A relationship that does not align with destiny may bring temporary pleasure, but will ultimately leave both individuals empty. The truth is that beauty, charm, and attraction can draw you together, but only purpose will keep you together. A woman who fights for your love is often the one who has discerned something greater than feelings. She has seen your vision, she has recognized your calling, and she has identified that her own destiny is connected to yours. That is why her love carries weight, because it is not just built on emotion, it is anchored in divine assignment. A woman who understands purpose is not impressed only by surface qualities. She does not fight for your love merely because of what you own, how you look, or how others admire you. She fights for your love because she has seen something eternal in you. She has discerned that your presence in her life is not accidental, that your union carries within it the potential to produce something far greater than either of you could achieve alone. When she perceives this, her love is no longer shallow attraction. It becomes covenant partnership. And covenant is always worth fighting for. When two people align in purpose, their relationship becomes unstoppable. Purpose gives direction, and direction gives endurance. Without purpose, even the strongest attraction fades under pressure because feelings cannot withstand the storms of life. But when purpose is present, even in difficulty, there is an anchor that holds. That is why a woman who fights for your love will not abandon you at the first sign of hardship. She sees beyond the present moment into the future you are building together. She recognizes that the journey may be tough, but the destination is too important to abandon. That is why she invests her heart, her strength, and her prayers, because she has tied her destiny to yours. Purpose-driven love is selfless. It is not about what she can extract from you, but about what she can build with you. When a woman fights for your love because of purpose, she is not clinging to you out of neediness, but partnering with you out of destiny. She is willing to sacrifice her own temporary desires because she has seen a bigger picture. She may set aside certain preferences, delay certain personal ambitions, or endure temporary struggles, not because she lacks identity, but because she has discerned that unity with you will create a future worth those sacrifices. Purpose makes her commitment unshakable. Without purpose, relationships deteriorate into competition, comparison, and conflict. Each person pursues their own agenda, and love becomes a battlefield of selfish ambition. But with purpose, both individuals are moving toward the same vision, and every sacrifice becomes meaningful. A woman who fights for your love has likely already embraced this truth. She sees your weaknesses but does not magnify them, because she sees the vision within you that outweighs them. She chooses to support rather than criticize, to encourage rather than abandon, because she knows that her role is not only to love you emotionally, but also to push you into destiny. Purpose also provides discernment. A woman who understands purpose will not waste her fight on relationships that have no future. She will not fight for love where there is no alignment, because she knows that partnership without purpose is bondage. But when she recognizes that her life's mission is tied to yours, she will fight with everything in her. She will intercede for you in prayer. When you are weary, she will defend you when others doubt you. She will remind you of who you are when you forget. That is not ordinary affection. That is divine alignment at work. Consider this. Many men chase beauty, many pursue charm, but both beauty and charm fade. Purpose, however, is eternal. The woman who fights for your love because of purpose will remain when beauty wrinkles and charm grows old. She is not anchored by what is temporary, but by what is timeless. That is why her love grows deeper with age, because it was never rooted in what changes, but in what lasts forever. This is the kind of love that survives decades, because it is tied to destiny, not desire alone. When purpose governs a relationship, love becomes a mission. Every challenge is seen not as an obstacle, but as preparation. Every hardship is endured not as punishment, but as training. And the woman who understands this does not panic in seasons of struggle. She fights for your love, not because she is blind to reality, but because she sees reality through the lens of destiny. She knows that the purpose you share is greater than the trial you face. She knows that the calling you carry together cannot be destroyed by temporary storms. This is why her fight is steady, consistent, and relentless. Purpose also creates accountability. A woman who fights for your love because of purpose will not allow you to settle for less than your potential. She becomes a mirror that reflects your true identity. She will challenge you when you are lazy, correct you when you stray, and inspire you when you are weary. Her fight for your love is not only about keeping you, it is about keeping you aligned with who you are meant to be. And that is the greatest gift a partner can ever give. For without accountability, even the most gifted individual can be destroyed by their own weaknesses. When you recognize the role of purpose in love, you begin to understand that relationships are not accidents, they are assignments. Every relationship has a reason, but not every relationship has a destiny. A woman who fights for your love because she has discerned destiny will not take the relationship lightly. She will treat it as sacred because she knows it carries generational impact. She is not only thinking of her happiness in the moment, but of the legacy that will be created through your union. This is why she refuses to let it go easily, because she sees the children, the influence, the impact, the future that is tied to your covenant. Purpose-driven love is rare because most people are distracted by surface-level attraction. But when you find it, it transforms everything. It moves love from being an emotion to being a mission. It shifts the relationship from being temporary to being eternal. The woman who fights for your love out of purpose is not simply holding on to you as a man. She is holding on to the assignment that heaven has entrusted to both of you. That kind of love is unbreakable because it is bigger than feelings, bigger than circumstances, and bigger than both of you. This is why you must discern carefully when choosing a partner. Do not be deceived by temporary sparks of chemistry if there is no alignment of vision. Do not be distracted by beauty if there is no agreement in purpose. A woman who sees your destiny, aligns with your calling, and fights for your love because she recognizes that assignment is worth more than anything you could desire. For when purpose governs love, that love becomes unshakable, unstoppable, and unending.